everybody, Mike again here from Diamond Entertainment out of Memphis, Tennessee, and I want to do something a little bit different this time. I've been looking at a lot of the logs and everything on YouTube and MySpace where DJs have left gig logs. This is what I did at this function. This is how I set up my equipment. This is how I did this. This is how I did that. And there's always some tips on there about equipment. How you should use this, what the best lights are, what light effect you need to do, or aim it this way, or do whatever. But I think one thing that's been forgotten is, before you get to all that, is how do you sell your service to those clients? Anyone ever really thought about that? Well, there are some basic sales tips or methods that you can use. When you're selling, it's always good to give your client a choice between something and something rather than something or nothing. That's an old sales rule of thumb. Because at least if you give them a choice of something and something, you're going to get something out of it compared to giving them a choice between something and nothing. It's like asking them a question that can give you a yes or no answer. You got a 50-50 chance of getting that answer that you want. So give them an answer or ask them a question that they can't answer yes or no to. That they have to give you a specific answer. Also, when you're selling and you're selling your prices, that's the biggest thing everyone's always asking about. I try to keep that to the very end of my conversation because I try to point out to them what they're getting for their services. But when you do it, remember, it's always easier to quote them a higher price up front, but close it for a lower price, than to quote them a low price and try to get it back up to where you really want it. So what I usually do is I have three basic prices in mind. I have what I really want to get for it, what I think I can get for it, and then the lowest I will absolutely go. And a lot of times I'm able to hit between those last two. Also, as you're talking with them, let them know you're there to help them. You're not there just to get their money or just to be the DJ for their function. You're there to help them in any way you can. Example, with us, we help put on 4 wedding shows a year and 4 mini wedding shows. So we have a lot of contacts with wedding vendors. And part of our sales when we talk with someone is if you sign us as your DJ, you also have a straight line connection to any wedding vendor you'll need because we help produce a big wedding show in the area. So we have in our database contact with all these different wedding vendors, with caterers, photographers, videographers, even other DJs. Had a lady ask me one time about, okay, if you have I need some bagpipes for my wedding. Well, I knew we had bagpipers in our area, but I didn't have their number. I said, give me till Wednesday, and I'll give you a call. I called her on Wednesday and gave her 2 of them. And she was so amazed and stammered. She goes, well, I was just calling your bluff. I don't really need bagpipers. But, hey, it's glad to know you can get it. I said, well, that shows you what we can do if you sign us as a DJ. And they signed us for their DJ just because of that. Also, when you're talking to them, listen. Let them do the talking. Don't try to carry the conversation. Don't try to be the rock star or the person in the spotlight. It's the bride's big day. And mention it to them that you understand that it is their big day. Now again, most of these tips I'm talking about at this point are about weddings because that's what we do a lot of. So tell that bride it's your day, your special day. Your husband or your fiance is going to be there, but we all know it's your day. And we'll help make it that memorable day that you want it to be. Also, speaking about deposits, when we're getting back to the money, a lot of people don't want to do deposits. We found from our experience it's best to take a deposit because on down the road they may not decide to go with you. And if you haven't done a contract or at least got a deposit, you're not guaranteed anything. The way we handle is we take a deposit up front, usually 25% of what the total cost is. Then tell them that they can pay the balance off by the week of their event. What that does is that gives you money in your pocket up front for doing work, plus it guarantees them that they don't have to pay the full amount until the end. So if something happens and say big deposit is non-refundable, they have to back out, they're only losing 25% of the amount they would have normally paid. So you've got some money for your time and effort. And that way too gives them time to get the money together. Now I know the cost is different throughout the country. I found that out. Out in California, you guys out there charge more than we do here in the South. Well, it's just the market. You have to find which fits within your market that fits best for your clientele. We tell people that we are DJs for budget-minded clients. There are ones that charge a lot more in this area. There are ones that are the bottom feeders that charge much less and use iPods to DJ with. And that's another one I'll get into later. But if you're going to be a true professional, you need to have the equipment that does it and charge what is right for your area. And another thing I learned tonight from an event we did, one of our other sales or DJ associates with another company used the line, because we get a lot of people that are shopping, and a lot of these brides are looking for weddings. They're getting married next year. So what he used line was, it's best to go on and at least sign your contract now, get your deposit in, and lock your price in, your 2009 price for your 2010 wedding, because you know prices are going up all around. And every year we have to slowly go up on our prices. It's best for them to get that 2009 price for their 2010 wedding. And here's another tip he said. Best day out of the whole year to get married is the day after Valentine's. You can buy a room full of flowers for the same price you would have paid for 1 dozen flowers on Valentine's. And another tip to let them know you're helping. Another good time to get married is in the off season. December. Everyone's doing Christmas parties, but what about on the Sundays in December? And that way too, tell them they can save decoration cost. Those are just some tips. Sales tips and others to let your clientele know that you are there for them and not just to take their money. Well, this is Mighty Mike, Diamond Entertainment, Memphis, Tennessee. I hope you're able to get something out of this. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I want feedback on this, because I want to do this as an ongoing tip to help you become the person you need to be to take care of your client and make the money that you want to make. Once again, Mighty Mike, Diamond Entertainment, Memphis, Tennessee, dare to be dazzled.